Today in Sports Report, mixed martial arts, a clear victory of Murat Khanturayev. The hero of the program, Sergey Buikevich, about the promotion and perspective of horseback riding in the country. The fans of mixed martial arts could watch 10 rating fights, and the main fight of the night was between Murat Khanturayev and Engels Gulmutovich. That is the promotion of the Alash Pride. Everyone knows it. Everyone wants to take part in it. And today we are in a small international tournament. I have already had legionnaires from Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, now Tajikistan, bringing its talents. So the fighters are going to fight for our republic, and we couldn't refuse them. The geography of the fighters who took part in the second selection is extended from the Asian republics such as Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan to the Western Europe, which was represented by Germany. The world champions, the Asian champions, exist here, but from amateur mixed martial arts, we are moving to professional. This is a good chance for those who want to be professional fighters. That's their first step of being a professional fighter in mixed martial arts. The main fight of the night must be a fight of Khanturayev and Gulmutovich. The Uzbek legionnaire with a nickname the Asian Bear of the Kazakhstani club has called off his arrival to the competition several times, and he came to the second qualifying tournament well armed. My opponent is a dark horse. I couldn't learn him actually. The guy's strong, healthy, tall. I think it's going to be a good fight. The fighter from Germany was a dark horse because there was no information about him. Besides this, he has several titles, and Gulmutovich was a boxing champion of Germany, K1 and kickboxing champion, and the representatives of mass media couldn't get any information about him. As we see the opponent is strong physically, we are going to stand stance, 1 foot front, and in all possible fronts we'll try to fight. At present, I can't say what I'll emphasize on. It'll be clear during the fight. I'll be looking for traps, and the emphasis will be on physical fitness, mastership, and experience. The fight night was opened with the duels of debutants. The Green Masters didn't perform anything except boring fighting. Much attention was paid to the second fight, a representative of the club Alash Pride. A 19-year-old Muhammad Abdraliyev is one of the most prospective young athletes. Kablan completes his fights before the appointed time, giving no chance to his opponents. This duel wasn't an exception. Abdraliyev in the first minutes laid his opponent to the ground and ended it with a choking technique. The following fights were very different, especially the fight with the participation of the representatives from the Uzbek club, Max Fighter, as it was hard. So Nursultan Razikulov, without any chance, beat the master of the ring, Shadvalad Zubov. Sunatilla Rasulov was stronger than Ikubjona Tabarov in 3 hard-round fights. And Begzad Jiyanov put Fozila Nuraliad on his shoulder blades. When the degree of excitement reached its highest point, Khanturayev and Gulmutovich appeared in the ring. The Asian Bear was confident, but what was in the mind of the Germanic sportsman was difficult to guess. From the first minute, Khanturayev started the fight, putting his opponent on the ground, and then he didn't give any chance for his opponent to get off the floor. Massive, fierce attacks made the Germanic fight weaken. Not raising his head off the floor, he was in a difficult position, and the experienced Khanturayev made his opponent reveal and ended the fight with an arm lock. I knew that I'd fight because I knew that my opponent was the boxing champion of North Germany, K1. I knew that I couldn't overcome him with my hands and legs. That's why I used fighting techniques. You see, I used the arm lock technique. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu aims to support being on the floor with your partner, in which weight, height, speed, power, and reaction doesn't have so much importance as in standing, and then with the help of combat techniques to disable your enemy or make them give up. For this, various locks for hands, legs, spine, and chokes and hits are used. Mainly the struggle goes on for a win till confident victory. The opponent must give up an accordingly more developing type of sport in the plan of MI, mixed fight, because almost all shocking positions are evaluated highly. When you perform in such tournaments as UFC, as usual shocking positions play an important role. They are evaluated highly. That is why many do it. Some of them do mixed martial arts, and some people do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. All world champions, as a rule, perform well in such tournaments.
Чемпионы мира, чемпионы Европы, как правило, неплохо выступают на таких соревнованиях.
Anyone can start doing this type of sport for different purposes: self-defense, sport competitions, and mixed martial arts.
Вижу столько молодых людей, которые занимаются спортом.
I can see lots of youth who do sport, drink water and not wander in the streets and go to the gym. Yesterday there were about 50 people in the training of different ages between 10 to 12 years old until over 50. That is a good result. I think if the youth develops in this way, Kazakhstan will have a bright future. It is very important to invest in a healthy body, to the young spirit, and of course, promote Kazakhstan to the world arena.
Конечно, будут интеллектуальные парни продвигать Казахстан и на мировой арене.
Jiu-jitsu in Kazakhstan is developing, the evidence of which can be the rating of our local sportsmen in international arenas, opening of different clubs, visiting and participation in competitions as athletes and spectators. In the southern capital of the state, another master class of fashionable youth choreography took place. This time, Anastasia Urazova and Elena Prel came to Almaty from Russia.
Девочки, которых я позвала, Настю Юрасову и Елену Прель, они давно хотели в Казахстан, им очень понравился Казахстан, как Казахстан, Алматы.
Girls Nastya Urazova and Elena Prel, whom I invited, were asked to visit Kazakhstan. They liked Almaty very much. We need experience exchange. We need to accept everything and benefit. We invite the best girls whose rank is higher than us and real professionals. They have enough experience to share.
Есть чему поучиться.
Over 2 days of master class of modern dance styles, the secrets of strip of plastic and frame-up were discovered, and exactly their direction today is one of the most popular ones.
Огромное количество молодых людей, парней и девушек предпочитают там.
You feel free when you dance. There are no limits in your head. And you are able to expand the language of your body. You can also express everything with the language of your body that you couldn't express with your words.
Не то чтобы часть моей жизни, это моя жизнь, потому что, в принципе, я воспринимаю всю нашу жизнь как танец.
Lessons of such master classes are efficient. Experience exchange and opportunity to learn with professionals is the way of personal success.
Это такая свобода и
It is not difficult to share. On the contrary, it is positive, because people accept you. They wait for you and they know you. They see you on the internet, and when you come here and have a live chat, it always justifies expectations.
не можешь выразить словами.
In conclusion, I want to mark that the most important thing is to start dancing. It is better late than never. One of the few sports which involve not only the athlete and where not only success depends on him is the equestrian sport. This prefabricated concept includes sport games with horses. This discipline plays particular importance in our country, as it is directly linked to the history and development of the Kazakh people and society as a whole. This kind of sport should be on the territory of our state, because nomadic culture, the culture of our people, is closely connected with dashing horse games, which traditionally existed on the territory of our country. Well, but any sport came out of the national culture, and we must grasp that classical disciplines of horseback riding are not traditional nowadays. It is show jumping, dressage, and triathlon. They are the types of sport which are included into the Olympic program, although these are still part of horseback riding. Firstly, we devoted our life to our work and our life to it. However, we should not forget about national types of sport. The post-Soviet legacy of national equestrian sport was not the most promising, but nevertheless this graceful and magnificent discipline has kept its traditions. Created federation tried to keep the base, which has been formed as a part, even in the framework of the Soviet Union, and then gradually began to move forward. Today, horse riding is not just one or two directions. That is not just a discipline, how it was several years ago, for example 15 to 20 years ago. Just one type of sport existed in our country with the name show jumping. It is a successfully developing discipline. We successfully performed in international competitions, mostly in Eastern Europe. Everyone could recognize our national team, but there were only 4 people, and as you know, the peak of the iceberg, which could compete somewhere. And there were just 2 or 3 lines in the newspapers. That was not enough for the development of this sport. And then 17 years ago, a decision about holding an international competition was taken inside the country. Not only traditional Olympic directions of horse riding got started with their development, but also modern disciplines such as remote races and tent pegging. Several years ago, we started a new program of development of remote races. This is absolutely classical national type of sport which can exist without nomadic culture. It is impossible to imagine in today's terms, otherwise it would not have reached the current level. It is a nomadic lifestyle without huge cost covered on horseback our ancestors. And that remote runs, it's a marathon and test for endurance of horses, 160 kilometers in length. In recent years, 7 new clubs were built just in the Almaty region. They're all equipped with the European standards, and the most important thing is that investors are willing to invest in this industry. The first sign in the development of modern standards of the Federation was the opening of the Equestrian Center. Gradually, we are realizing our programs, there were few of them, and that is one of their creations. Firstly, the Center of Horse Riding, where we are today, is to promote horse riding. Create the industry should be clearly grasped. As I said about the peak of the iceberg. Any iceberg has its platform, and the same is horse riding. In this case, we take Europeans as an example. Primarily European is understandable, close and rational for us, because the whole industry of horse riding was formed there. Much work is done by the whole Federation of Kazakhstan. The vice president is an active athlete and coach, Sergey Buikevich, and also a member of the International Federation, and heads the group which is engaged in the development of equestrian sport in the post-Soviet space. We can say that on a definite level we are advancing the actual development of equestrian sport inside the country and in our region. Of course, the priority objective of the Federation is the Olympic Games. Domestic athletes really want to make this historic event for the country and win the right to attend major competitions of 4 years. We certainly dream about Olympic Games and Olympic medals, but there are some types which are not Olympic. But they are also classical, as stampeding and distant runs, those close to us historically, simple sports that can become publicly popular. If we talk about distance runs in recent times in the Mangistau region, no one knew about the classical equestrian sport, and today Mangistau experiences the success of its athletes at the remote runs. In the Asian region and among the countries of the former Union, Kazakhstani athletes for the past few years are the favorites of any competition. Patriotic methodology for development of equestrian sport has been adopted in many of our neighboring countries. 19 times the national team of Kazakhstan took first place. And today it is a leading team not just as an organizer, but firstly on the sports concept. Many people take an example from us. Well, with confidence we can say that we are catching up, sometimes surpass. That's good because we are not just doing the development of sports in one country. For us it is very important to cover the whole region and to be an example for them. In general, the whole organization, called Group Number 3 of Commonwealth countries, happened with us, and in a few years it took place in the Caucasus. In practice, our model of sport was adopted in the Caucasus. Today there's just an explosion of equestrian sport. You can call it a boom, because even in Soviet times there was no such development, for instance in Georgia and Azerbaijan. Success comes when a person is given the work sincerely and without reserve, when your profession has become a matter of your life and gives you pleasure and satisfaction.